The Chase, Alwyn Cox. It is Sunday. Martin and Steve are riding through the town on their bicycles. Martin is riding in front. Martin has black hair. He is 12 years old. Steve is younger. He is about 11. The two boys are going to the river. They often go to the river because they like fishing. Then Martin sees a green van. It is standing in front of a shop. A big man is coming out of the shop. He has an ugly face. He is taking two large bags to the van. The boys can see a fat man with glasses. He is sitting in the van. Just then the ugly man drops one of the bags and some things fall out of it. Some of the things look like gold. Martin says, "Can I help you?" The ugly man looks angry. "No, you can't," he says. He picks up the things quickly, puts them into the bags, and goes to the van. Martin and Steve ride down the road. Soon they are out of the town. Then Martin says to Steve, "That big man with the two bags, what's he doing?" "I don't know," says Steve. "That van is near a jeweler's shop," Martin says. "A jeweler's shop? Do you think?" "Yes." "They're thieves, I think. They're taking things from the shop and putting them into that green van." "What can we do?" asks Steve. "Well, we're out of town," Martin answers. "We can't go back and tell the police now, and there is no telephone near here." "I know," says Steve. "We can ride to your grandfather's house." "That's right," Martin says. "Grandfather can help us. He can telephone the police." In the green van, the two men are quarreling. The fat man is speaking. He's the boss. He is speaking to the ugly man, Big Jock. "Those boys, we're going to find them," he says. "But, boss, they don't know anything," says Big Jock. "Can't we just drive away from here?" "You don't know anything," says the boss. "They know the van and they know your ugly face. They can go and tell the police." "What are you going to do if you find them?" asked Big Jock. "I can make them afraid to tell the police," says the boss. "I don't like it. We're losing time," says Big Jock. "We're going to find them," the boss says angrily. The two boys are riding their bicycles quickly. Then they hear the noise of a car. "A car! I think the thieves are coming after us," cries Steve. There is a small road near them, and there are big trees by the side of the road. "Quick, down here," says Martin. The boys turn into the small road and hide in the trees. Just then the green van comes up the road. The boss is driving and the two men are looking out of the windows. Big Jock says, "Stop! The van is at the top of the small road." The boss says, "They're only on bicycles. They can't be far away." The two thieves cannot see the boys because they are hiding in the trees. The boss does not turn into the small road but drives on. As soon as the van goes, Steve and Martin get on their bicycles. "They're looking for us," cries Martin. "Come, Steve. We can go down this road to my grandfather's." They are in the country now and far away from the town. There are no houses, only fields and farms. The boys are riding up a hill. Martin is in front and Steve calls to him. "Please stop. My legs hurt." "All right," says Martin. "We can sit in the grass if you like." They put their bicycles in the long grass by the roadside and sit down. "It isn't far now," Martin says. "It's only about 4 miles. Steve looks unhappy. He's rubbing his leg. Then he says, "Look! Down the hill. Is that the van?" Martin cries, "It is! Quick! Into the field!" The boys run and hide in the field. "Can they see the bicycles?" asks Steve. But the bicycles are in the long grass and the van goes by and does not stop. The boys are afraid now. "They're still looking for us," says Steve. "We can't ride on the road now. Where can we go?" "We can go across the field," says Martin. "We can walk with our bicycles." They pick up their bicycles and walk across the field. It is hard and they cannot walk quickly with their bicycles. Then Steve puts his foot into a hole and he falls down. Martin goes and helps him. "Are you all right?" he asks. "My foot hurts," Steve says. He cannot walk very well after that. Steve is unhappy. "We're never going to find your grandfather's house," he says to Martin. "We're a long way from the road."
Of course we'll find it, says Martin. They walk slowly because Steve's foot hurts. Then they come through some trees, and in front of them is a big river. "The river!" cries Steve. "What can we do now? We can't get across." "Walk along the river and find the bridge," Martin says. It is a long walk to the bridge, but they come near to it at last. Martin stops. The green van is there already. "Quick, hide," he says to Steve. A man is standing on the bridge. He is the big, ugly man. He does not see the boys because he is looking at the road. "They're waiting for us," Steve says. Martin looks at the big river. "We can't go over the bridge now. We can only go back," he says sadly. They turn and walk away from the bridge. Steve says, "I can't walk across those fields again. My foot still hurts." "We can't stay here," says Martin. In town, 2 policemen are near the jeweler's shop. A woman is telling them about the thieves. "I live across the road," she says. "Yes, there are 2 men. One is fat and the other is a big man with an ugly face. They're in a green van, I think." The policemen jump into their car. One of them says, "We've got to find that green van before the thieves sell the jewels." They drive away quickly. The 2 boys are sitting by the side of the river and looking at the water. They are far away from the bridge now. They look unhappy. Martin says, "We can soon get to my grandfather's if we can just get across this river." "How can we do that?" asks Steve. "There isn't another bridge." Then Martin says, "Look there, isn't that a boat?" They stand up and look. A boat is coming down the river. The boat comes nearer, and the boys can see 2 girls and a big dog in it. One of the girls calls out to the boys across the water. "Hello, you 2! Where are you going with those bicycles?" She is a small girl with black hair. Her name is Rachel. "Well," Martin answers, "we want to go across the river." The other girl laughs. She is a tall girl. Her name is Linda. "Why can't you go across the bridge?" she says. "It's not far away." The boys look at each other. "Can we tell her?" asks Steve. "Tell us what?" the tall girl asks. She has a red dress on. She has a kind face, Martin thinks. I can tell her about it all. He says, "We can't go that way because there are 2 men near the bridge. They're in a green van and they're chasing us." "Chasing you? Why are they chasing you?" Rachel asks. "They're jewel thieves," Steve says. "We saw them outside a shop and we're going to tell the police about them." "Can you help us?" asked Martin. "Of course," Linda says. "Just wait there. We're coming." The girls bring their boat to the side of the river and Linda throws a rope to Steve. "Catch this," she says. Then Rachel says to Martin, "Put the bicycles at the back." The boys jump into the boat and the girls take the boat across the river. Martin tells them about the thieves in the jeweler's shop. The boat is coming to the other side of the river. Rachel says, "I've got an idea. Why don't we catch the thieves and take them to the police?" "How can we do that?" they all ask. "I'm thinking, you know the old house, Linda? We go there with our friends sometimes." "Yes, I know it. What are we going to do?" Linda says. "We're going to find our friends and catch the thieves," Rachel answers. She turns to the boys. "Go down that road," she says to them. "There's an old house with a wall in front of it. There aren't any houses near it." The boys stand still. Rachel laughs. "There isn't anyone in the house. Go in and hide, but put your bicycles by the wall." "But the thieves can see them there," says Steve. "That's right. Then they come into the garden and we wait for them in the trees," Rachel says. "And someone can go and tell the policeman in the village." "All right," Martin says, "but bring your friends quickly before the men find us and take us away." The boys can just see the old house through the trees. They are walking through long grass to the door. The house is very dirty. The boys go into the house. "I don't like this place," Steve says. "It's all right," Martin answers. "Just hide in this room at the back." The girls are very busy. They are in the garden of the old house with their friends. Linda has her big dog with her, too. 2 of the children are putting a rope from one tree to another. and they are hiding the rope in the long grass.
Just then Rachel hears something. She looks over the wall and she sees a green van. It is coming slowly up the road. "Quick," she calls to the other children. "Hide! The thieves are coming." They all hide. Some of them hide up in the trees. The two men in the green van are quarreling. Big Jock is angry. "All this time," he says, "and we're still looking for those boys. Why can't we go back now, boss? Then we can drive to London and sell the jewels. We're not going to find those boys now." The boss is angry too. "You're a fool," he says. "Those boys know the van and they know your ugly face. If they tell the police are going to catch us." The van is near the old house. The boss is going to drive by. Then he sees the two bicycles by the wall. "Look there," he says. "Those two bicycles by the wall. The boys are in there. They're hiding in that house. We've got to find them." Big Jock says to him, "Well, if the boys are hiding, why are the bicycles there by the wall?" But the boss does not hear him. He is jumping out of the van. "We can catch them now," he cries. Big Jock is not happy about it, but he goes after him. The two men are running into the garden and through the long grass. They come to the rope in the grass, but they cannot see it. Big Jock's foot catches in the rope, and he falls on his face. The boss turns round, and then he falls down too. "Now," cries Rachel to all her friends. The children jump on the two men. Some come down from the trees. Some come out of the long grass. They sit on the thieves. Some put a rope round Big Jock's hands and feet. But the boss is too quick. He throws the children from his back and stands up. The children see a gun in his hand. "Stand still, all of you," he cries. "This isn't a game. We want those two boys." Martin and Steve hear the noise from the house. They run out of the house and into the garden. Then they see the boss with the gun in his hand. "Ah, there you are," the boss says to the boys. "All right, go to the van." The boys cannot do anything. They walk slowly to the van. The boss walks after them with the gun. Linda is standing in front of him. "Get out of my way," he says, and he hits her with his hand. At once Linda's dog jumps. He jumps at the boss and bites his hand. The gun falls onto the grass and Steve runs and picks it up. The boss is afraid now. He does not like dogs. "Take that dog away," he cries. "He's going to kill me." The boss's face is green. His hand hurts a lot. "Just stand still," Linda says. "Then he can't hurt you. But stay there or he bites." Big Jock stays still too. 4 children are sitting on him. Just then they all hear the noise of a police car. It comes down the road quickly and stops by the wall of the house. 2 policemen jump out and run into the garden. One takes the gun and puts handcuffs on the boss. Big Jock has rope round his hands and feet. The policemen laugh at him and he is angry. "Good work," the policemen say to the children. "These are 2 dangerous thieves." They look in the green van and they find the jewels in the bags in the back of the van. One of the policemen says to the children, "You are going to get a reward for this. Give me your names and then come to see us tomorrow." Then they take the 2 thieves in the green van away. "Thank you for all your help," Martin says to Rachel and Linda. "Well, what are we going to do now?" asks Rachel. "We're going to see my grandfather and tell him the story." Martin's grandfather is working in his garden. He sees all the children and he is surprised. "Hello, Martin," he says. "What are you all doing here?" Everyone speaks at the same time. "This ugly man, at the jeweler's shop, boat across the river, in the old house, gun in his hand, getting a reward." Martin's grandfather laughs. "Stop," he cries, "one at a time." Then he hears the story. "That's a very good morning's work," he says. "Now you can all have some food with me, and there's some meat for the dog, too." "What about your fishing?" Linda says to the boys. "It's too late for fishing now," says Martin. "And you don't catch fish now," laughs Rachel. "You catch thieves."